Week 5 waiver wire. Let's get it started. Do you have questions at quarterback? Don't worry, I got you. Sam Darnold. Honestly, can't believe it. But he's been lighting them up. He scored 20 or more points in 3 straight weeks. And he's not playing no scrubs. 49ers, Texans, Green Bay Packers. He goes up against another tough defense in the New York Jets. And I'm nervous, but should I still be? I still feel like I should, but my man has thrown 11 touchdowns so far. He's out here balling against tough defenses. Worth the waiver ad. Next up, Justin Fields. My dog is balling. He finally started running last week. 10 carries for 55 yards and 2 of them things. Plus he threw one in the air. Going up against the Dallas Cowboys will make you nervous. In previous years, don't know how nervous we should be right now. They got defenders banged up left and right. Fields should put in work, especially if he's going to run like he did last week. But was that just because they were down? We'll see soon. Definitely worth an ad. Geno Smith makes it on the top 10 again this week. And now he gets to play the New York Giants? Yeah, sign me up. I'd also like to mention Joe Flacco if Andy doesn't play. Y'all remember last year, Flacco can sling it. And Andy Dalton doesn't have the best matchup, but if you're desperate, I think you can play him. Finished top 10 last week, and I think his weapons are stepping up. Worth an ad. Are you having a rough time at running back? Don't worry, I got you. Kareem Hunt. If you've been watching this channel, you should already have him. But if you don't, grab him. Steele got benched after another fumble. Chiefs are getting injured left and right. I think Kareem Hunt should step in and get most of the work. He won't get all the work, as we saw for Samaje Perine getting in the end zone. But I think that as the time goes on, Kareem Hunt will get more and more involved. And I already like the involvement in week 1. These next 2 are ads due to injury, so there's a bit of speculation involved. Jonathan Taylor had a mild high ankle sprain. Not quite sure exactly what that means, but he may miss a couple weeks, and if he does, I think Trey Sermon should be the guy. It's a good offensive line, and they've had success with backups in the future. I don't love Sermon, but I love opportunity. Bijan Robinson came up on the injury report. If he misses time, Tyler Algier will be even more involved than he already is. The team seems to like to use both of them. And if Bijan misses time, Algier's your guy. Rico Dowdle's still fighting for the starting spot for the Dallas Cowboys. Their run game hasn't been great, but they're a good offense, and he gets involved in the running game and the passing game. I feel like this one might be only a matter of time before he takes over. Before, it looked like Zach Moss had taken a hold of this backfield. Well, Chase Brown has something to say about that. They split work last week, and your boy got 2 touchdowns. Moss didn't get any. Solid long-term play, especially if he ends up getting the job. Zach Moss won't go away, but he'll get more involved. These next guys won't be the number 1 without injury, or they're coming off of IR. Justice Hill will never take over the backfield in Baltimore, but when the Ravens are down, they'll throw him the ball. They've proven they like to do that before. Solid ad, but in the right game script, he'll hit. Tank Bigsby is a good handcuff, plus he got pretty involved last week. The team said they wanted to get Roschon Johnson more touches, but then DeAndre Swift popped off. I'm not a Swift believer. I think that over time, Roschon Johnson will get more work. Clyde Edwards-Helaire should be coming off of non-football illness. I believe he was having PTSD. The Chiefs are desperate for running backs. I think he gets involved. I personally think Hunt keeps it, but I think CEH gets involved. Nick Chubb is able to practice again. The team has 21 days to activate him, meaning allow him to play, get on the team. So if he's on the waivers, you might want to grab him in the next week or 2 because he'll be back sooner rather than later. He's not really that available, but he might be. Worth a check. Are you weak at wide receiver? Don't worry, I got you. Dontavian Wicks popped off this week. He was wide receiver 3. 13 targets. He turned that into 5 receptions for 78 yards and 2 of them things. With Christian Watson going down, Dontavian Wicks is going to be much more involved, as I really like him as an ad this week. Next up, Wondale Robinson. This dude is getting targeted heavy. He had 14 targets last week, turned it into 11 receptions for 71 yards. Malik Neighbors left that game with a concussion, and though I think that he has a solid chance of coming back because they have an extra long week because they played on Thursday, if he misses, this dude's going to be the main guy. Oh yeah, grab him. You should already have him because I told y'all to pick him up last week. These 2 guys stand out the most, but I'm going to run through some other guys I like, then some speculative ads. Let's go. Darnell Mooney still getting those targets. Think he's worth a grab. With Adam Thielen out, Xavier Legette stepped up. Loved the 10 targets. Turned that into 6 for 66 and a touchdown. I think he stays involved. They did draft him high. They're going to want to use him. Josh Downs popped off. 8 for 80 and a touchdown. I like him a lot better if it's Joe Flacco compared to Anthony Richardson. Flacco's going to get him the ball. Richardson makes me a little nervous. With Devontae Adams out, I still like Jacoby Myers. In deeper leagues, Trey Tucker. Jerry Jeudy is surprisingly involved. Little boomer bust, but still involved. And Tutu Atwell, as well as Jordan Whittington. They're both flyers. In this offense, I don't think there's going to be a number one guy. I think it's going to bounce back and forth until Cooper Kupp gets back and takes all the targets. Are you having a tough time at tight end? Don't worry, I got you. Tucker Kraft popped off last week. He's the tight end 1. Here's the thing about it. Tight end landscape, the bar is fairly low. Everybody's been pretty bad. This guy, 9 targets last week. I like that. Turned that into 6 for 53 and a touchdown. With Christian Watson getting banged up, more targets are going to go around. I think he's worth an ad. Tyler Conklin wasn't great last week, but he had 8 targets, which is a lot. And to be fair, no one was really good on the Jets last week. If this man didn't get injured, he would probably be on the top of my list. Taysom Hill dominated last week. He's basically a running back, tight end, quarterback, all mixed into one. But he's banged up. If you can put a player in your IR spot, he might be worth it. He's a boomer bust tight end that can win you a week at any time. If you got an IR spot, worth a grab. I'll also throw these last 2 out. Zach Ertz has been blah, but I like the offense and I like the matchup. Definitely think you can grab him. And Kobe Parkinson had 7 targets last week. That's awesome. Didn't really do anything with it, but he got the targets. Moving on. Are you desperate for a defense? Don't worry, I got you. The Denver Broncos did work against the New York Jets last week. Now they get to face the Raiders, who may not have Devontae Adams. Yes, please. Next, the Minnesota Vikings. Yes, I know they just got torched by the Green Bay Packers, but a lot of that happened in garbage time. This defense has scored double-digit fantasy points 3 out of the last 4 weeks. Not the best matchup versus the Jets, but to be fair, are the Jets good? Broncos just locked them down. Vikings defense, I think is worth a start. Next, the Seattle Seahawks. I know what you're thinking. I also just watched them get lit up by the Detroit Lions. But they get to go up against Daniel Jones and the New York Giants at home with the 12th man all around. And they may or may not have Malik Neighbors. If they don't have Malik Neighbors, Giants gonna have a problem. And lastly, the New England Patriots. Excluding the first week, they haven't been very impressive, but now they get to play the Miami Dolphins. And I know y'all just saw the Tennessee Titans do work against them Dolphins. Yeesh. Patriots should be just fine. So who did I miss? Who's too high and who's way too low? Let me know down in the comments. If you want to see my reactions for last week's games, click right here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and the notification bell down below. I'll be seeing you on the other side. I got plenty of content coming out this week. Don't miss it. Peace. Whoa, let's try that again. Gotta add that to bloopers.